Hi folks, how you doing? This is Iqbal with NVIDIA Analysis and Assessment. NVIDIA had a good time today, but FOMC rate decision meeting changed the game in the afternoon. We'll further discuss in this video and also we'll try to make an assessment for rest of the week. Now, let's get started. Starting with the daily summary, NVIDIA opened at 133.86. It made a high 136.70. It made a low 128.28 and it closed at 128.91. That is 1.14% down. Sometime before the noon, Nvidia was trading around 135 and that was about 4% up. So Nvidia basically, in my opinion, is started to make a comeback today, but FOMC rate cut decision meeting impacted the whole market today. You see that after probably 2 o'clock, Nvidia and overall market started to come down. So basically, Fed did the rate cut of 25 basis point, but the concerning point here is they mentioned that for the rest of the 2025, they do not have any aggressive plan for the rate cut. So Mr. Paul mentioned a fewer rate cuts going to happen in 2025 versus market expectation. So basically, it was an immediate reaction from the market after Mr. Powell conference. So in my opinion, this downtrend should not continue for so long and market should start recovering again in next few days. So probably it was a good buy opportunity for the overall market today in my opinion. Now let's take a look forward P for Nvidia and other AI stocks. So forward P for Nvidia is further down from Monday. Right now is at 37.26. So still 37.26 is not too bad for a new investor if somebody wants to buy Nvidia and want to keep it for long term. Nvidia should recover before the next earnings. That's I'm positive. Palantir forward P is 210.32, slightly down from Monday. SMCI 10.14, not a big change from Monday. AMD 27.41, also down from Monday. Now let's take a look quarterly percentage change analysis for Nvidia. So based on the cumulative percentage change for Nvidia for this quarter after the previous earnings, at this point Nvidia is down about 11.9% from the previous earnings report. And in the last quarter, as I showed you before, Nvidia was down about 12.81%, and that's a minimum level Nvidia achieved in the previous quarter. So still some room for Nvidia to go down. Now let's take a look technical charts for Nvidia. You see 180-day hourly interval chart for Nvidia and also the Fibonacci levels. As I mentioned you in my previous videos that 126.8 is a strong support level and it's highly unlikely that Nvidia would break 126.8 anytime soon. And you see that Nvidia did multiple attempts this week to go below 126, but it could not sustain below 126. So my statement is still valid. If no fundamentals change for Nvidia, then in this quarter it won't be very easy for Nvidia to go below 126. The next level of resistance is at 132, and that's not a strong resistance. And after that is 140.5, and that's a strong resistance level based on my opinion. Because last week and early this week, Nvidia tried to go above 140, but it could not sustain it. it had to come down. And if you talk about my positions, I'm still holding Nvidia stock and my break even is around 143, but I do not have any plan to sell Nvidia before the next earnings because I think that Nvidia should bounce back before the next earnings. Now let's take a look at Bollinger Band for Nvidia. You see the gap between the upper band and the lower band is expanding in last few hours, and you know the reason, and that's the FOMC rate cut decision. So that's why you see some volatility in last few hours. But I do not think this situation can continue for so long. So I'm guessing Nvidia should start recovering from tomorrow. Now let's take a look some news regarding Nvidia. So again today I do not see any big news regarding Nvidia. So most of the news are pretty generic. Some are talking about FOMC rate cut decision and others are talking about overall how Nvidia is behaving. And this one looks interesting and that is regarding Broadcom and also Nvidia, and this says Broadcom has more room to run than Nvidia, says Vijay Rakesh. Let me know what do you think about this analysis. Do you still think Broadcom has more potential or room to go further up compared with Nvidia? In my opinion, maybe not. So this one is talking about Bill Baruch. He probably trimmed his position on Nvidia by 20%. And I guess that is his decision. Probably he may have other good opportunities compared with Nvidia. And it kind of makes sense because these days Nvidia is not performing well, but other stocks are doing good. For example, in my watch list, you see that Tesla, Palantir, and also SoundHound, together with Avago, all of these stocks have been performing very good in past few weeks. And Tesla used to be around 300 a few weeks ago, but now it has been trading around 470 as of yesterday. And same thing with SoundHound. So every other day you see that 7 or 8% increase on SoundHound. Similar situation with Palantir. It used to be around 30 just few weeks ago. And also Vago used to be around 1600 just 2 weeks ago. So lots of other opportunities versus Nvidia at this point. But in the long term, I think Nvidia will bounce back more than the other 4 or 5 stocks that I just mentioned. So let's give Nvidia one more chance for next few months. And regarding the economic data for this week, tomorrow nothing big coming up. On Friday we have the PC index data and the core PC index data, and that's basically the inflation data, and that is very important. Let's take a look at the historical trend for the PC index data. On your screen you see the historical trend for the PC index data for last few months. The last month the actual came 2.3% versus the forecast 2.3%. In last few months you see that inflation is started to go down from July. Now again we see is coming back. It's 2.3% in November. And this website does not show the forecast for next month, but I'm guessing the actuals might come about 2.3% as well, or maybe higher than that. Now let's take a look core PC index. So regarding the core PC index, you see that the actuals in last month came 2.8% versus the forecast 2.8%. And overall trend, you see that it's kind of mixed picture. In July, it was 2.6. It was pretty consistent in July and August, then started going back from September. And that's not a good sign. You see the trend is up in last few months. So if the trend continues to go up in the next few months, that won't be a good sign for the Fed. And probably that's why they want to be cautious in doing the more aggressive rate cut in 2025. And this kind of makes sense because if they do the rate cut too early and too much, and the inflation comes back again, and they will be in a difficult situation how to handle it. So it's a good idea to use wait and watch approach. So that's all about my analysis and assessment regarding NVIDIA for today and next few days. I hope you liked the video. Thank you so much for watching. Talk to you more in the next video. Take care.